Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Here we are in a new year. What kinds of changes will you make this year?
I'm Afro Danes. We will talk about how to visualize your dreams.
And I'm Stacy Beck. Looking for a workout system that gives results? We have a solution for you.
Let's make 2019 the best year ever. Coming right up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How are we doing?
Happy New Year!
I know, right?
Wow.
I can't believe it. 2019. It's going to be a good year.
Have you picked your word?
Belief.
Belief.
Ooh, I like
Yes,
it.
belief.
Good.
I'm going to share with you later on. My little son, just as I was leaving, he shared a Charlotte Bronte poem, but I'll tell you that later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there'll be
Okay.
a great time for that because I can't
Okay.
remember it. I wrote it down. I don't have my book. Oh, yeah, but yeah, there's been dark moments. 2018, that was yesterday.
Right.
2019.
It's interesting how sometimes they kind of are grouped into years, right? Like it's a tough year. It's not like, I don't know, there's tough moments and great moments in every year, but some are doozies.
Yeah, right.
So
That's okay. But
Yeah.
lots of plans, right?
I like
For the
it.
future,
I like
and
it.
I feel more positive. I don't know. I think every year, and I think as I get closer to the big 5-0,
yes.
you know, which is going to be in a couple of years, not right now, but the fact it is, I just want something big. I love the way that you're traveling. You got a bucket list that, because no kids at home, and that's nice.
Fulfilling my dreams.
Yeah, whereas
Well,
we're
you
a different
just-
place.
Yeah, you just don't get back time. I mean, I
Right.
think
That's so true.
that was the realization that I've just recently come to. I mean, I was a weepy mess
Right.
over the vacation, you know, just trying to put everything away and kind of just that whole purging and you know, what do you keep and what do you
With little ones.
Oh my
Right,
gosh.
yes.
Yeah, I was just a train
Same,
wreck.
yeah.
So my word, I think for this coming year is transition.
Oh, transition.
So we're transitioning from, you know, not babies anymore into kind of the big kids
Yeah.
and moms making some changes too
Yeah.
because they are going to, you know, going to a full day of school in this coming year. And
Gunnar will be?
yeah, he'll be in kindergarten
all day
this
kindergarten.
coming year.
my
I know. You blink and it just happens.
Wow.
And I was warned, you know, so I'm picking all of these pieces from all of these very wise friends that I have around me that have just told me, like, don't you dare blink because as soon as they get in school, it's going to go that fast, and
true.
it really has.
Yeah.
So
It
Wow.
changes quickly.
Full time.
It changes
Yes.
quickly.
And you, my dear?
Didn't choose a word, but
You
I
did?
made
Okay.
resolutions. I chose a word last year, and I know I got at least a quarter of the way through,
Right.
but now I don't remember the word.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. You know, could you think of one straight off the bat?
No.
Fun. You can say fun. Your year is for the
Sometimes
fun.
I think I'm so not fun. I'm too big of a realist.
Oh.
Like in a
you're
movie,
fun.
for example, when you're watching a movie and they make a huge mess, in my head, who's going to clean this mess up now? You guys, that's not fun. I
that's
just
funny.
enjoy
But
it.
what about when you watch a movie and you really read into it more than anyone else around you? You know, everyone's watching a movie and going, yeah, that's great. And I'm like,
No, I think she did it.
That's
Yes, I
right.
think it's
Or-
going to go here. And they're like,
Or even relate it to myself. I'm like, what if I'd been in that? And what message was there in that movie?
oh, yes.
And
yes.
my sister's always gone, I didn't read that. You know?
I just watched the
I
movie
just
for sheer pleasure.
That's right. But you know, it's good. I'm excited. I really am. I feel like more self-love, more self-belief, you know?
Self-care.
Self-care, yeah, really taking time out. And I think I haven't done that, and it's always, you know, we've always talked about it in the name of my children, and I love my children, but it's so important. I think we have more lows as women because we don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
right.
I don't take care of myself.
My daughter that has a newborn, 8 weeks, I'm like, honey, self-care. It's,
Yes.
She's like, how do you find the time? You just make it.
Use
You
grandma.
just-
Use grandma.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, I just need to sleep. I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah, right.
Good for
Aw,
me.
that's
So,
good.
yeah, but self-care.
Yes.
And no matter what stage you are as a woman, 20s to 50s
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
80s, you still need to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
It just looks different.
I have another friend on that same note who posted today on Instagram that she was on her soul vacation, and it was a soul for her soul, just a soul vacation to just free herself from her husband and her kids and just go away and read.
So she literally left. She went on
to take just take a few days for yourself and read a book and have that self-care and run a bath and do whatever you want to do, because it really is true. Like when mom's happy, everyone else is happy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that. And there's a lot of stress, I think, that goes on really around the holidays too. You know,
Unbelievable.
I saw something else. It was kind of a joke, you know, mom's list and dad's list, like the shopping list, like one person he buys for and then who mom buys for, and it's everyone else. But there's kind of a lot of truth to that. I mean, whether it's true in every household
And
or
my
not.
husband would just be like, everyone gets a gift or give them money and then we're done.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah, simple.
I think
and
I love
so we bring
simple.
a lot of it on ourselves. Like thinking, okay, this is the budget. We need to have this many gifts for each kid and this group and this, party. And it can add up.
It really can.
There's a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
And this year we
a
had
good
less gifts, but the kids were they were calm and they were happy. And it was like the 1 or 2 gifts, but it was the 1 or 2 gifts they've been talking about for a while that we hadn't said we were going to get it or anything. But once they opened it, we gave one that we knew they weren't really happy, but they opened it and we pretended that was their only gift. And
How can you do that?
you could see him just like looking at everyone else's and just sitting there. And then we gave him the real and he went, wow, that was just so cute. But then the rest of the day, everyone was it was just so calm all day.
And did you stay home all day?
We did, yes.
That's nice.
Yeah, and we went to my in-laws the next day and it was really nice. But yeah, I think Christmas is about giving and,
Relaxing.
Relaxing,
I love
giving, relaxing.
That week in between.
Yeah.
When you don't know what day of the week it is.
Oh my goodness, right?
And you don't have to change your
Yes.
clothes from your pajamas.
Yeah, from Christmas to
and-
Saturday, I didn't even leave the house.
Isn't it fantastic?
And then
We rarely do that.
I'm just like,
It was amazing.
oh, it felt good. I finished a couple books.
Oh,
I started
wow.
a scrapbook. I watched movies. It was needed. I got my self-care in.
Yes, you certainly
Awesome.
did.
Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year to you.
It's going to be a good one.
It is,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You have a lot of good things in store. I'm excited to see it.
Thank you.
And a really
guys.
great show in store
Oh, I
today
know.
to,
That's
to,
right.
to rejuvenate and get all of these things
Yes.
in line to get us motivated and get
good to
some of
be
those.
back.
It does.
Yeah,
Feels
it
good to
does
be back.
indeed. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, coming up next on Studio Chatter, need help staying motivated to get to the gym? Stay with us for the answer. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Just like every new year, the gyms are packed. Our first guest is here to help you get motivated and to stick with it. Welcome Gavin McKee and Krista Grossbeck from ZUwire Fitness to the program.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
So, how are you? Like, are you a gym? Do you call yourself a gym?
Yes.
Okay.
But we kind of established ourselves to kind of break the mold
Okay.
of a typical gym because we come from such different backgrounds. I come from kind of a bodybuilding aesthetic training background. Krista comes from a powerlifting CrossFit background. And we both kind of came to the conclusion that it doesn't work. So we decided to kind of just create our own thing. And so we're kind of sick of teaching other people's things. And so we decided to just do our own thing and create something that we felt would actually work. Kind of the biggest thing that revolved around was I was sick of only seeing results in the gym and then going for a hike and being exhausted. And so, I was really big and strong, and then people would ask me to help them move, and I was worthless. And
So that really happens.
oh yeah, all the time. And so I wanted, if the hour that I was spending a day in a gym only reflected in that hour a day in the gym, I thought, what was the point? I want that to apply to the 23 hours a day I'm spending outside the gym.
Okay, so you were more CrossFit, and now you're not solely just CrossFit. You do.
We kind of focus on functional movement. So
Okay.
training the body to move the way it naturally does. So we focus on certain body mechanics and how to move properly with like a heavy emphasis on form and posture. So before, I was kind of heavy CrossFit, doing really heavy lifting, and just was hurting all the time, not realizing it until I stopped doing that and started focusing on more functional movement, and then I realized I felt better.
Really?
Yeah.
And
So
have you reduced injuries?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
I
not
was
just in
always kind
ourselves,
of
but in
hurting,
all of our members as well. People come to us with knee pain and hip pain and back pain, shoulder pain that they don't realize they've been dealing with for such a long time. That focusing on joint alignment and mechanics and the way that the body should move, the body doesn't want to be in pain. And so people are typically going out of their way to cause themselves a lot of pain. And that's so then when you go to try and do something with your family or go and actually enjoy this body that you're trying to make fit and you can't, then we don't really see the point in that. So
do you use weights or do you?
yeah. So I
And
think
what's different? So what would be different? What's the comparison between what you're teaching and CrossFit or lifting?
my 3 rules that I created when it comes to my programming was after kind of overseeing all the other programs that we've seen, I created 3 rules in all of my programming, and that is that it's never my job to tell you how much weight to use, how fast to go, or how many reps to do. My job has to be foundationally the movement. And so if the movement is my prime objective and it's not arm day or back day or it's leg day, it's an overlying human movement, then the weight doesn't really matter. And so I'll demonstrate our movement. So our classes always start with 10 to 15 minutes of demonstration. We go through and explain all the moves because about half the time we just make it up. And so we don't expect you to know. We don't expect you to know what it is.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, well, we have to make it up.
But we know what we're doing.
Right.
So it's not
If you knew what we were talking about all the time, if you knew what we were talking about all the time, we'd be quickly out of a job. So we go through and explain everything, and then so long as that movement is being achieved, then you can resist it however you'd like. We use barbells and kettlebells and dumbbells and sandbags, resistance bands. It doesn't. The resistance doesn't as much matter. We intentionally change the resistance all the time because life is awkward. It's not in barbells and dumbbells. It's awkward and weird and changing on you. So the movement is what's important. And then those 3 rules apply after it. And then after that, it's kind of up to every day.
I guess like another thing that is a little bit different is we don't solely focus on isolated muscle movements. So the body works more as a system. It's very rare that you wake up and you use one muscle at a time, so we focus on working the body as a system with weights and with resistance, different forms of resistance, but moving that body as a system as opposed to just one isolated muscle group at a time.
So let me ask this. The ZUwire, is it just you guys are the instructors and is it just this class?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just us, and we teach I'd say 3 programs. And so I create and teach Zoo Strength every day, and Krista has her Gridiron program that it's just, the main difference is just it's mine versus her. It's just different. Our own individual, structured a little bit differently is all. And then we do a kind of a break from our own programming where we come together and do a different program that we call Zoo Max on Friday, where we focus on all the different planes of motion and some cardio interval training. But it is just us. It's just the 2 of us teaching.
And how many classes a day? 3?
It's 5.
Oh, 5. What times?
On the hour in the mornings at 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9:15.
Natasha, 9:15.
I know. So they can, you guys can eat whatever you want.
We decided to
You're
just
teaching them that,
eliminate
right?
any chance you might have for an excuse.
Well, 2 things that have been very appealing to me as I've watched folks that have, put their journey on your Instagram or even just watching your Instagram. You've noted never work out alone.
Right.
And people are always calling it the ZUwire family.
Yes.
So I feel like there is just there's a feeling there that
It's a community.
It's a
for
very
sure.
tight-knit group of people. Yeah.
Has that
But, like,
changed
they're very
coming into the new
welcoming,
year, like with new enrollments, or
Yeah. Well,
everyone's welcome?
everyone is always welcome.
I
Yeah.
always feel so grateful for our members because I feel every time somebody new comes in, people reach out to the new people. They really are. They're really welcoming. We are a tight-knit community, but they're open to new people and they're welcoming, and so people come in and they feel comfortable. They really do.
What would it look like if someone new comes in, but they're going into a class where people have been coming for a year? You've been open a year now. Can they catch right up? Do you you said you don't have them like do 15 reps or specific reps, so they can do different
Absolutely.
things to
So
feel
that's the biggest reason why it is so accommodating to people is because the aspects in other fitness centers or other areas of fitness that might eliminate people from feeling that sense of camaraderie are eliminated, because you're not comparing weights, you're not comparing reps, you're not comparing speed. It's just you're all working out together, and so everything is modifiable, and you can all just jump in, whether it's day one or you've been doing it for 5 years. You can just jump right in and do it together.
Well, everything is circuit based, so we set the clock for a certain amount of time. People that have been there for 3 years with us can go as fast as they want because they know how to move right and efficiently. People that are brand new can slow down, go at their own pace, but everybody just works out for the same amount of time, and people can be on different levels easily. So,
So is it kind of done like, you know how Curves, they would have little machines and then you'd go, I mean, it's not going to be like that, but you're there. I'm just trying to picture in my mind, I haven't been to a ZUwire class or anything like that.
So we primarily use free weights for pretty much everything that we do. That was one of the biggest things when we did change locations recently a year ago. We left all of the machines there, and that's just because you very rarely encounter a machine during the middle of your day. Very rarely. And so like I was saying before, things are awkward. So we use awkwardly weighted sandbags and bars and lopsided dumbbells, unintentionally lopsided, but you know what I mean? But our space is a great big open room and then a 25,000 square foot turf field out behind us that we use for, I mean, what was it today? 4 degrees, but we programmed to run, and so we have that. We were indoors, 65 degrees indoors on our field, and so that was nice.
So
to
tell
use.
our viewers where you are.
So we're in the Athlete Development Center that's right behind Wendy's and Wiggy Wash. We were able to move in there, a year ago. It was such, it was incredible to go move in there. Oh, it's been so great. Popped up out of nowhere and met the owners, and they just said, yep, throw your stuff in right now and let's get going. And so, which worked out so great for us because the place is packed all night with soccer players and baseball players, but all morning we get to utilize that field.
Oh, you're
all
so
morning.
lucky.
Oh, it's been so great. Because we went from a 15,000 square foot facility into here. And so it was really nice to be able to move into it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Believe it or not, we're already out of time. But on that note, a free week for anybody that wants to give it a try,
Absolutely.
right?
Anytime.
Just
Jump in.
All right. ZUwire Fitness, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, we will help you become the person you want to be. Don't go away. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. It's not uncommon to look at ourselves and wonder why we haven't become what we want to be. For some help with that challenge, let's welcome Jodi Robinson to the Chatter. Welcome.
Hello, it's so nice to meet you all.
Oh, it's so nice to have you.
for coming.
And there's nothing better than chatter. So I'm good at chatter, and my friends would say that. So
Fantastic.
glad to be here.
Well, we just want to chat. So, what has brought you to this place?
So
Yes.
I think that we all arrive at a space in our lives where we really say, am I who I want to be? Am I who I'm supposed to be? And when I think of the word dream, some people look at dreams and think, okay, that means, going to Italy or buying a yacht or driving a Lamborghini. And mine was driving a minivan 10 years ago. Let me tell you, I was like, I want the minivan with the sliding doors, and I've had it for 10 years. I'm ready to move on.
To move on to a new dream.
To move on to a new dream. But a dream to me is the gift of becoming, what you give yourself and what you give others. And so some kids that I was around recently, and a friend of mine shared this. She said, isn't it interesting how you ask kids, what do you dream of? And immediately they're like, well, I want to ride an elephant, or, I want $1 million so I can give it to my friend who has cancer. And then she actually said to a group of women, probably about 50, and she said, what are your dreams? And she said the room was silent. And I said, isn't that interesting that word trips us up, when in reality a dream is a beautiful thing. It's the gift to become or to create. And so I came into it with that desire to say, I turned 50 on January 7th, and that's just a couple days away whenever this airs, but I started this journey 10 years ago. But to me, it's a way to become and to not go into maybe the worldly side of looking at dreams, but looking at it as attributes.
Right.
What helps you become the woman of your dreams, the person that when you leave this life, you say, I lived a good life.
So was there some epiphany when you were turning 40 or after you turned 40 that just
that did it?
Yeah.
So mine happened 20 years ago, and to be honest, it came through my mentoring work. I started, of all things, mentoring women in addiction recovery, and I had known nothing about addiction recovery. I didn't study it in college. It was one of those things, you answer an ad in a newspaper and you show up and you're like, I want to do good and I want to volunteer. And I got turned down in the beginning. They said, we don't need you. And then the director called back and said, we do. We need somebody to do stuff for Santa. So I fell into this spot in a place called House of Hope, downtown Salt Lake. These women accepted me, little Jodi Robinson, who led a pretty clean life in comparison. And all of a sudden I realized that it's them who I was admiring. I'm like, oh my heavens, they are creating a life, because their life became nothing. You know, so many of them lost family, so many of them lost even homes, belongings, and it was their 12-step programs, it was their meetings, it was their groups, it was them getting excited about creating life that honestly opened my eyes to say, wow, what am I doing to create my life? You know, do I really have a plan? They all have a plan. They have a workbook this thick. And what am I doing? And growing up where I was in a faith-based program where we had something that youth, our young women's group did it, and we progressed through that. But I couldn't even remember some of what those goals were. So it started 20 years ago, and my inspiration of all things came from Sydney and from Wendy and Kelly and the women that I could name who let me into their lives and showed me that you can dream even when you've hit rock bottom. You just have to decide to get up and say, I can become whomever I want to be. And that gift you give yourself. So we made dream catchers for one of the activities that I did, and we'll talk about that at another segment. But, you know, you catch your dreams, and I kind of developed my own curriculum, and I didn't call it curriculum at the time, but I started teaching these classes, you know.
Wow.
And I don't know anything more than the next person, and I use a lot of research and books from really much wiser people than me. But when you put it all together, it just helps each one of us define, you know, our dreams, because they're unique to us. And I think it's good to wake up to them. So it's interesting that who inspired me were women that didn't know what dreams were in the very beginning. And I see them with their houses, with, you know, getting custody of their kids back. I mean, all these things that I just had no life experience with. But
do you stay in touch with them?
I do, and some of them are my dearest friends. So it changed my life, and it changed how I see what a dream really is. Because when you help a woman who doesn't have a home, and she's moving into her first studio apartment, and she doesn't even have a bed, and somebody has donated a bed, and I've found silverware and sheets, and you know, and she is thrilled. That dream for her is just amazing. And so it doesn't have to be big and audacious. It has to be everyday life. And those, as one movie that I just saw puts it, little moments of infinity, you know. But a dream is living your life how you want to live it, with joy and happiness, contentment. And even if you never make it to Europe, you know, you can do enough in your living room and in your kitchen and in your home, in your minivan, to create the life that you dream of just by what you carry in your heart.
How do you think, I think, I love that. I can remember as, you know, my 15, 16, 17, you know, dreaming big. I'm going to do. Then you get married, then something happens, then the kids come. Then
like, wait a minute.
And I was thinking that, I'm 48, and I was thinking, how did I lose that?
Right.
What happened?
And isn't it interesting that we can say that? We can say we lost that, but why don't we get it back? So come to one of my workshops. But really, Right, and what it is it's doing this. It's chit-chatting, it's sharing, and it's getting that excitement. One of the things that I taught years ago, and it didn't come from me, someone else did it, and then I, said, hey, this works. Getting out Play-Doh, and you know how colorful Play-Doh is and how good it feels? Just feeling it and playing with it, all of a sudden, gets your mind wandering. And so I think when all is said and done, there's tools and tips that you can use in workshops, and you do it with other women or men. And I love helping teens, realize what their dreams are, their aspirations by who they are, and not what society tells them they're supposed to be dreaming. Because the dream, you've accomplished your dreams of getting married, having children, and even doing this program. I'm sure there was something that led you to this place. And so,
aren't you the one that initially thought of this?
Yeah,
how wonderful. So you're a dream maker. You're a dream maker,
Look what you've created.
So don't you think it's the way that you put that dream up there as how it's supposed to be defined, and then go, oh, wait a minute, I don't have any, but really you do. And then it's celebrating the fact that you've had
keeping
dreams
it going.
and
I
keeping
think that's
it going
what it is as well.
Yeah, and we all get stuck. I went through lung surgery 2.5 years ago. Half my right lung was removed, and I didn't know if I would ever get to really enjoy the out of doors, and our family really does. We just did a 20-mile hike to Lake Havasupai Indian Reservation.
Yes, that's a tough
Back
one.
night it was, and I did that. And
did?
that was and that was a dream that we saw on the internet. We were like, that's a destination we want to go. My husband was turning 50 and I'm turning 50, and so we took our family. But to think that my body can do that I can do that with 1.5 lungs, and so it's how you frame it. You reframe the dream, and be very careful what words you use, how you use them, and who you share with, because you don't want dream squashers. You want dream builders, and I love being a dream builder for anyone who wants to come, and I get them all excited. Then I get excited about what they're going to achieve.
So you're probably huge at getting people to write it down, like their dream, but then you have to dissect
just going to say
it
that,
and do the small things, because it is about the journey. Sometimes you get to the goal, but right then you're like, achieved, now I want to get on to this one.
Exactly. And I think there's a way to, it's if you want to go on a trip, but what attributes are going to allow you to go on that trip? And so if you break down what you want to become and look at it in those attributes, those personality traits, and then build upwards to what the action plan is, that helps. But I'm not a list lover in terms of creating that plan for the goals that then are all measurable. How do you measure if you want to become more compassionate? That's a dream of mine, to become compassionate, to where when I die, somebody says, she was compassionate, So it's kind of looking at it and saying, yes, you need a map, but let's let your map be your own individual map, and getting to your goals is going to be by personality traits and attributions, and those steps will automatically bring and draw in, by the law of attraction, those dreams that you aspire that are more tangible.
I love it. That law of attraction is
I know.
I just love that.
I believe it. And
I do too.
I had something just land in my lap the other day that I just went, oh, I thought
Lucky
of this,
me.
and how it's sitting right
it's
here.
crazy
And
at
so
times.
I just trust that the powers of the universe and the great God, just says, I do good things, and
So is
when you're
that-
trying good things,
Yeah.
Is that how your program kind of works? Is people individualizing who they are and then kind of mapping the plan?
Yes, and I probably make it sound a lot more complicated than it is, but it's really a conversation and getting in a room. I really, really love small groups. I've spoken to big groups and hundreds of people, but that's a different kind of message. But when you can get 5, 6, 10, 15, maybe 20 at the most, people together, and you help them get in their groups, and there's certain questions, obviously, that you answer, but it's allowing yourself to open up and to really be aware of what is it that you want? What do you want to become? And to become who you want to become, what do you have to do? What do you have to change? And changing is hard. who wants to change things. But that awareness also is such peace, because once you can make that change, you have a greater chance at becoming who you want to become in your dreams. So as much as it's a really, it's a mapped out course, if you will, but it changes by who I do it with, by ages. Some of it's a little bit more interactive, and I love creating new opportunities. And the group of women that I do a podcast with called The Living Room, we are having an event on January 17th, and then there'll be one in February also. And it's Live Your Dreams in 2019 with ease and grace, because you've got to ease, you can't do this in a night. This is a process. There's maybe one dream to make a batch of fudge and eat the whole thing. I can do that in one night. But no, those dreams that matter, they take a little bit of time and effort, and so it's easing into it, doing it with a lot of grace, and feeling confident. And so there's 3 co-hosts. We'll all be together to motivate and to set a plan, and to help you along the way. And then if you want to come to another workshop, you're welcome to go to the next one and the next one. And I love that you create dreams through that connection, because
I'm excited to hear about the tools that you have for us.
Well, I'm happy to share.
Well, hold that thought.
Okay.
We're not done with Jodi yet. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. And we are continuing our discussion of dreams. What do you have to share with us?
It's a good topic. It really is. The thought that comes to mind just as we go into this next portion of it is that dreams, when you connect them to meaning, that's the key, right? And if you really think of something that you dreamed of doing, think of all the meaning that you put towards accomplishing that, or towards making that come to fruition, And I think that's what we can't lose. As we get older, we've got to remember, I got to find that little kid in me that's just going to jump up and down and go, yes, someday I'm going to ride an elephant, and then do what makes that happen. But attaching the meaning to it and knowing that that's where the happiness comes in.
I like that.
Empty dreams are just empty dreams. Anyone can dream
with other people.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
so much more meaningful. Fulfilling
Yes.
those dreams, or going through the steps with someone you love or care about,
and helping someone else accomplish their dreams.
Yes.
I mean, think of all the moms that are along the sidelines of those. My son plays rugby, and on the sidelines, but making his dream come true to be able to do a competition team, or just get to one of the tournaments. But I think of all those moms that are either at ballet lessons or cello lessons, or even the mom that's like, I will let you do my hair because someday your dream is to have your own salon. But that's all part of the dream making. And so, think of yourself as a dream catcher, but you're also a dream maker. And I just think there's so much joy in it. And it's the meaning that makes dreams worth dreaming about. So
tell us about this dream catcher.
So this is the question. Okay. How many of you made the poster board years ago and you cut out the pictures from the magazine, you get your glue stick, and where did you put that? Was it in your entryway? No.
On my dresser,
Okay, on your dresser.
Then it gets kind of knocked down, and I think my only problem is I used to just put so much on there.
Right.
So many. My list was big and pictures everywhere. That this year there's a lot of white space to then put on.
Simplify. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To put on more.
And that's a good point. Yeah. Well, I thought, why are these posters hidden away in our closet? And I went into a friend's bedroom one time. She goes, go grab my shoes. And I opened the door and I'm like, oh, there's her vision board, and it's hidden. And so this was just a year and a half ago, the whole reason I started making dream catchers, my father got hurt in an accident. He was actually run over by somebody who was high on drugs. And so what I had been doing for 20 years was mentoring women in addiction recovery as a hobby and as volunteering. And all of a sudden I was experiencing a lot of stress, and the doctor said, you got to find something that's creative and completely different, using a different part of your brain. And I end up going into my daughter's bedroom. My Italian grandmother's 93, and she's addicted to Publishers Clearinghouse, and she orders from them, and they send a little mini dream catcher in every package, and she gives them to my Zoe, and Zoe puts them on her closet. So I walk in there cleaning up her room, and I'm like, I'm just going to make a dream catcher. That might, I haven't made one for years, and started ripping fabric and cutting yarn. All of a sudden I was like, this is going to be my vision board. It's boring to have a poster in a closet, and I don't even get magazines anymore, right? You print pictures off Pinterest or, make words on the computer or something. But so this is a sample of what I call a dreamer. And it has meaningful things on it. I put my word for the year. This is for a client. This is the vessel that has the message that you want to leave yourself, for the year. The tassel, they all represent something. This became something that always connects me to the divine. So when I see it, I remember, am I connected to that higher power? And that's the higher power that's going to help me manifest these dreams. And so I've got to be in tune. The key unlocks our hearts to all of the passions that are inside us that make us capable of accomplishing all that we want to. In the original legend of the Dreamcatcher, which I love, is that the negativity comes and gets caught in the web, drips through the tassels, and the feather carries it away. So that's perfect for keeping yourself positive as you, seek for your dreams. But so and this is a meditation bead. This just reminds me that, I should always take time to meditate and really think and ponder my dreams. And so a dream catcher took on a little bit different meaning for me as I healed from this injury that my dad had. He came, thankfully he lived, but he has a traumatic brain injury and will never, ever be the same. But this was stress relief for me, but it was also healing. And it's opened opportunities for other people to purchase them and to tell me their stories. And
so you custom make those?
So I custom make them.
Cool.
Yeah. JodisWorkshop.com is my website. And I started in November of 2017. It was just after my dad's accident in July. And, he comes over and he was an entrepreneur and he's like, what are you doing there? And I said, well, I'm like you, Dad. I'm starting a business, So part of my dream is to create enough of an inventory that my dad can package and help me because he can't do some of those normal things that he once did with his brain injury. But whatever you do for your vision boards, I'd like to hear what you do because the reality is they're all different and they don't have to be the same.
To us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I did bring one, but this is very basic. Okay.
Hey, no shame in how you do you I promise.
Like I said, there's a lot of white space.
But white space is good.
I did just work myself. This is myself, but there's a lot of
love it.
Usually this would be packed. This would be double. And it'll be just packed with lots of words and things. And I want more flowers in my life. Vacation England. And then this is what my son said, just tonight. And so I said, okay, life, believe, and he spelled that wrong, is not a dream so dark as sages say. And this is a longer poem by Charlotte Bronte. But just saying that, even though it can seem dark by what others say, there is so much more.
There's so much
to life. And anyway, just like work. I didn't want to put what I was, but anyway, I want to earn this amount, education, I've gone back to school, but how I want to feel, that's a big part of it. I want to bring back me again. And so I have a lot of words that I want to look at and health is really important to me. So
I love it.
I'm kind of visual. And so the white spaces I will fill, but as I think more of exactly the direction and the focus.
As I'm thinking about that, I don't think you have to fill it.
No, that's right.
Because that allows you to just be.
Right.
And just fill it with this. So don't think that you have to fill it because then that might make you feel like
it's
overwhelmed. But then you can take that time to meditate or be calm.
Yeah. And your soul may literally be pushing you in that simplicity direction, saying, you know what, we had enough. We've got to simplify. And I think that's part of the intuitiveness of trying to listen to what our soul is dreaming of and not what our brains are telling us we should.
I think it's true.
That's a
Because in
message.
the end, that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's how it gets, and it ends up
It
in the
gets out
closet.
there, and you're like, "What is this white
That's
space that
right.
needs to be filled?" But it's like, "No, don't fill any more space."
Let it be. Absolutely. And I love it. And that does the job, you know. I mean, you can have something beautiful and you can have something as simple as on your phone.
Yeah.
Here is my vision board.
Yeah.
Here's my list, you know.
Natasha,
Yeah,
what
no,
do
and
you
that's
have there?
literally what mine is, and
It's on your phone?
it's really is just I'm a list person. I know that you said that you weren't really a list person,
wish I was.
but I am a list person. I love being able to cross things off. I'm one of those people
Yes.
that as I go, I like to cross it off.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like making goals or resolutions that I can't keep.
Right.
So we read a book as a group earlier this year that said, don't make a promise to yourself, like the promise to, how did you say it? That don't make a promise to yourself that you're going to break.
Yeah.
Like, or you're the most important person that don't make a promise to yourself that you're going to break, essentially. So that was
There's realism in your dreams.
So
Yes.
that was kind of the biggie for me coming into the new year this year is I just want to be true to myself and make really realistic goals.
Right,
So if there's 3, to really just make those 3
Yes.
come to fruition.
And make them happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of a conversation like this is I come away thinking that's such good advice and wow, that helps me. And I love, yes, what white space can I create so that more dreams can come in their own time. And so I like all that.
Women needing women, and when you discuss things like this, it gives you permission to be and do what you need to be and do. You're like, well, I thought it had to be this way, but now after talking to these women or this friend, now I feel okay to do what I felt like I needed to do, but maybe it looked a little different.
Yeah. I think the one quote that I use often that I really think I said this and then went, wow, that was good. I'll write that down. Now I can't ever remember exactly how I said it, but the dreams, it's your gift to become. And however you become is up to you. That's your gift to the world, but your dreams, that's what you leave. That's your legacy. Because when you bring those into fruition, that's what's left. And it doesn't disappear with you. My dad with this brain injury, there's things every day that I see in him where I say, oh my goodness, you fulfilled so many of your dreams. You owned a business, and yet he doesn't have the memory to be able to talk about that. But I know what his dreams were. I saw him fulfill them, and that's just wonderful,
That's awesome.
So they say a lot about us, even when we're not the ones that can remember them. We're remembered by who we become, and dreams really define that.
I was reminded, I was listening to a podcast today and they were talking about resolutions and the importance of reflecting back, which is really odd because that's what I was doing a lot last week before I started making New Year's resolutions. We tend to automatically go to the negative things
We do.
or the bad things. And well, I made this goal and I only accomplished it 50%. That's kind of what was in my head. But then I kind of pick up things through the year. And so I thought, wow, I was successful at waking up at this time, getting exercising in, my spiritual study, making my bed, being out the door. Like that's like an accomplishment to do like by 8:30 or 9. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
pat myself, like give myself
Yes.
credit for what I really did and reflect back over the last year.
Yes.
And what did you do that was good?
Yeah.
Acknowledge that.
The Power of Words, and there is a book, I think, and I can't remember the author. I think it is called The Power of Words. It was about 10 years ago that it was out. But that really convinced me that how you use your words when you are talking about your dreams, it's so easy to negate right out the gate, I dream of this, but maybe I don't have what it takes. And if we just stay in that positive space and hold space for your dreams, let them be dreams, and let yourself feel good about every single gift that you've been given to accomplish. Be joyful about it. It's such a good thing to dream. And I'm a dreamer, and my dreams are simple maybe in comparison to, to some. There's nothing wrong with simple. There's nothing wrong with big, audacious, hairy goals that I love, that's said sometimes, but no judgment. No judgment
on each other's dreams.
Yeah.
Thank you for
thank you so
joining
much.
us.
Really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up, have you been reading our book club assignment? It's time for our report. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. We know the holidays have been busy, and when do you find the time to read? But now it's time to report.
Yay! We had a good one.
We did. Educated. Woo!
It was easy to find the time.
Yes.
When it's that good, you just make the time.
Absolutely.
Captivated.
Yes.
Completely.
Oh, just like, what? Yeah.
So this just won one of the best books of the year on Goodreads. Our book club read it. We loved it. I've been ranting and raving about it at home, and so I'm having my daughter, that's 22 right now, read it. And I don't know if she's loving it as much as me, but maybe gave it so much oh, it's so good. And she's like, well, it's good, Mom, but you really...
Yeah, what's making you rant and rave about it? Is it the oddity of it? Is it because it's
I'm impressed by where she came from to where she went.
Oh, okay.
So saying that you can really, as we've been talking about, about dreams, following... Who would have thunked it? Someone who's homeschooled but not really homeschooled, and they're kind of left to their own, and then ending up doing a PhD in Oxford. Do you know what that means? I mean, that's
it's stunning.
It is.
It's preparing herself for the ACT.
Yeah, right.
And pass to get into BYU.
I mean, that's just...
The tragedy, the things that happened at their home, appalling.
Yes.
Grandma and grandpas have to sit back and watch if they want any sort of relationship with the kids, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, Dad is a nut job, to say the least.
Freak is an understatement.
And then Mom.
Oh,
you pity her for a minute, but then no.
10 seconds, I think. Because when you do that, I don't get that. When you're in a marriage and you see something is wrong, and then you stand by that I find wrong. That really just got my goat a lot. Women that just stand by something that's wrong, blatantly wrong. She knew what was going on.
Yeah, she did.
She knew what was going on.
The kids can all grow up and leave, and she's with the husband.
Why? My question. What in the world?
Especially at the end when she's running this major business now.
Yes.
With oils and whatever.
Yes.
Well, that in and of itself.
Just that. Forget the kids. I'm just like, the parents created, she's the mother. We are the nurturers. We're the protectors.
Yeah.
And when you allow someone to do something to your flock, Mother Hen should have come in, man.
And she sure doesn't.
No.
But she maybe missed, obviously she is missing something there. There were just so many. There's Dad and either schizophrenia or bipolar or some disorder he's dealing with all on his own. Okay, then Mom has issues all her own. And then, all of the relationships. And then the relationship with her brother.
Oh.
Appalling, right? It's just, and then just the whole religion factor. There's just so many storylines, all their own.
I did love Tara was raised, if you can say LDS, but I love how she starts the book off saying, I am not for or against Mormons. I was raised Mormons, but my parents were extreme. She sets it up very clearly.
She does.
That this is not a book about religion. It's about fanatics.
Right.
Which... she's a survivor.
Yes.
So 7 kids, 4 never graduate, 3 go on to get PhDs.
Oh, that's impressive.
So you and I were just talking before we started filming, just the draw when she went back.
Yes.
I could almost relate to that when you're just drawn to your family dynamics or to the past.
But
why do you think we do
funny.
that?
I don't know, but my kids, right, my 14-year-old just straight away was like, Why would you do that? Why did she do that? And they were sitting even on edge going, she's not going to go back. And it was just, and it's true. Why do we do that? Why are we not strong enough to say enough is enough? Is it that familiarity? Is it that comfort? Is it that belief that something,
love
that we want?
Yeah.
That and probably closure or something.
I don't even know if she was looking for closure. I think if she
no.
would have shown up and they would have said, Tara, we love you. You are welcome
would
to
have
do
been
whatever you want. She would have forgiven
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But they still wouldn't even do that.
No. And the fact that her brothers or, her other brother who was sane shunned her because he wanted that, that acceptance from the father. So he wouldn't admit to anyone else that she's right. You guys are nuts. And so she was on her own. And I was just like, whoa. Even to get to the PhD doctorate, be in Oxford. I mean, it's hard to get in there. Oxford and Cambridge is like Yale and Harvard.
Right.
From someone when you're coming from not knowing anything.
Well, I mean, even some of the times when they were in the dorm with her, or I mean, I just tried to imagine how she was feeling
When her
or
parents were in
coping.
the dorm.
Yes, yeah. I'm like,
And I love the part, when she went to the lecture and she didn't know what the Holocaust was. I can't remember that.
my
I was like, what are they talking about? And then
Okay, this,
yeah, amazing.
it's a must.
Yes.
it is a
If
must.
you haven't
Yes,
read it, get it.
Yeah.
Great for what? Young adult?
Yeah.
I
Teenagers?
think so.
Yeah,
I think so. It's appropriate. Mhm.
Yeah. Very enlightening.
Alrighty then. What's our next book?
So, Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate.
All right.
Okay, let's
Before
do
We
it.
Were Yours
We'll
by Lisa
talk about
Wingate.
it in
Mid-February,
Yes,
so
mid-February, yeah.
okay.
Okay, we've got it, girls.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make some time.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. We made it, and what did we learn?
Whoa, so much.
We are off to a great
Good
start,
job,
right?
yes.
I mean, there's just so much content today.
Yeah.
ZUwire, fantastic. I like their different concepts. It's not just a normal gym. They're actually taking care of you because posture and positioning is so important. You can really,
Fundamentals and movements, yeah.
CrossFit. That was the reason why I didn't want to go, because just the way you're trying to pump and then just feeling like I could really hurt myself.
Real people, real results.
And
I've seen it. Yeah.
They're offering something here in Spanish Fork that's different from other places.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just like when we talked about the dream catcher versus a vision board.
Yeah.
Do what's best for
Yes.
you, where you're going to
Absolutely.
be happy.
Yeah,
If you want to go to Vasa, you want to go to ZUwire, great. Just do something.
Yes.
You do you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
Thank you.
In fact, we didn't even get to your vision board. What's your vision board? Do you make a vision board?
I did one.
Okay.
Several things came up on it over the years. One specifically, I put a picture of a cabin. I thought there's no way. We're never going to be able to afford a cabin, but we always wanted one. A couple years later, there was an opportunity. We built a cabin. But ironically, my husband brought my vision board down to me and he's like, look at this cabin. It was the exact floor plan.
No
Really?
way.
Yes. Guys,
Wow. Yeah,
like,
it's true.
I just believe in the power of putting your dreams out there and dreaming big.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so
I had
true.
no idea how that was going to happen. We've sold it since.
I was
we
going to
had
say,
it for-
didn't you sell it? And
Yep,
you have
we
different
did.
dreams
But
now?
I think dreams change, and you like I said in an earlier segment, you reach a goal, but pretty soon right after that, you're just like, okay, it's about the journey. Enjoy the journey of it.
It's true to keep going, because what was it? They say older people, if they don't have something to work towards, it's like almost like their soul dies, because there's nothing for them to keep working on. You're old.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. And once they stop working, if there's no one around them,
You need a sense of purpose.
a sense of purpose. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And of course, I always like talking about books.
Yes.
And how many did you read this past year?
Oh,
I
that's
counted
right.
the other day. I read 27.
That's
Or
amazing.
listened to.
Wow.
I do drivings.
Yes.
When I'm driving.
So how many for this year?
Well, I actually put down 20, and then that's when I went and counted last year. And I'm like, well, I've got to up that if I
You
read.
certainly do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
That's fantastic.
reading, and I wanted that to be a big thing in my life years ago, and so I've created
There you
it.
go.
Awesome.
love it.
Well, I think it's going to be a good year.
I'm
A
excited.
good year.
Yes. It's going to be whoop, whoop. So there you go.
And for all of our viewers as well.
Yes.
Lots of fun things planned and lots of good guests lined up.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Fantastic.
New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year. We need some.
Yes. New Year for the new year. That's true. We should have had that.
Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Tell a friend about us.
Just a little bit. Oh, that's okay. It looks great.
Okay, so in all of that excitement, I forgot something. So one of the other great reads that we read last year was Girl, Wash Your Face.
Girl, Wash
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I don't know if you recall that she started the Start Today journal.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then she had a shipping debacle with all of the Start Today journal. So I didn't get you a Start Today journal, but I found kind of the generic knockoff and wanted to challenge you in the new year to start your own today. Today is the day. So if there's something that's important for you to start today, or
so
keep
pretty.
that promise to yourself to write it down.
Oh, thank you.
So there you go.
Excited.
Happy New Year.
Oh, for a new year. Thank you.
Thank you. I like it.
Happy New Year.
That'll be awesome.
Yes.